Welcome back to another episode of Enough.
Yeah, we're in a new location, so we'll see how this works out for us.
I'm excited to be back with you.
I'm excited too.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, so we haven't just been doing the podcast together. We haven't been doing our daily runs together. We've both been really busy, so we haven't even had as many Marco Polos together as we usually do. So yeah. I'm excited. This conversation will be, haven't been talking much. So this is going to be pretty genuine. I have no idea what you're bringing to the table, but I'm excited to be able to do this with you again.
Me too. And I'm excited about this topic too. We'll see where it goes. We may go down a few rabbit holes, but I think it's going to be valuable because this is what was on my mind today or earlier this week when I knew we were going to be recording today. And I was thinking about different topics, and then something happened in my life, and I thought, are there times when our assets, our attributes can become a detriment? Like our character attributes, things that help us survive, help us to adapt to a new situation, when it becomes a detriment to our well-being, to our health, to ourselves, to our relationships. And that's what I wanted to talk about today.
Okay, I love it. You're going to have to give me some examples to get started.
Yes. So think about like if you are somebody who's very flexible, you can adapt quickly and change. Last minute, somebody can throw something on you and they know that you can that you can make it happen.
Yes.
But if you continue to do that, does it then open the door for somebody to take advantage of you, to just not communicate effectively with you, or to say, well, I know she can handle it. I know he could handle it, that it becomes a detriment? Or do we become so adaptable to any situation that instead of addressing a problem, we just continue to try to find the way to adapt around it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think one way, I'm thinking in business right now because I'm thinking of the team that I work with.
Yeah.
And how we definitely have an individual that is an excellent hand holder. She really does a great job of assisting people that are struggling and having a lot of patience to walk them through even a situation they should be able to figure out by themselves.
So she has characteristics of being a great teacher, having a lot of insight. This is where this person needs additional training.
Yes. And you know that she will assist you in doing that. Mm-hmm. So if you have an issue, whether it be technology or an understanding of something, she is always glad to steer you to an avenue to find the answer or help you along the way. Mm-hmm. Not all of us on the team, and I'm going to say me in particular, when I feel like I've given you this piece of information before, you have it in your hands, I shouldn't have to babysit you with it. So there's times that I get a little impatient in that area. Mm-hmm. So I'm not the best hand holder, but she is. And that is an attribute because she is serving the people on the team. She's in an admin position. So it's the perfect like it's just so good. Like she's in a great position and her gifts shine through her position because she handholds people. She's okay with it. She's good at it. She appreciates it. But because she does handhold people, people take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. So they're consistently reaching out to her with things that they should be doing themselves. They should be finding themselves. They should be figuring out themselves. They're knocking on her door too much. So because she's so good at it, and it is a gift of hers, it's taken advantage of.
Does she feel taken advantage of? Or does she feel needed in that time?
I I believe it from some conversations we had that there's sometimes that she's like, I'm over this.
Okay. Perfect.
And rightfully so. It's like she's been taken, like it's went over the boundaries. Boundaries. Right? So boundaries are the key. So I'm going to go ahead and give another example of somebody on our team, that a person that does a good job having hard conversations. Like they're just gifted at being able to have hard conversations. Because of that, there's an expectation of that person always having the hard conversations. People are taking that off their plate because they get nervous when it comes to confrontational type of conversations, what they feel. So they are consistently expecting, they have expectations of the other person doing it. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And of course that happens in a household too.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what sparked this in my mind, because we're both I feel like we're both very flexible, adaptable, can change course quickly. But after you've done that a number of times, you don't want to do it anymore. And what happened with me was I was like, I don't want to adapt anymore. I don't want to be flexible anymore. I want everybody to do what I want to do. You know, like I'm having this moment where I'm just tired of changing course repeatedly. And then, but I started thinking about it and I was like, okay, why am I feeling this way? And it was because I had not set up any boundaries, right? Like I had just allowed people to continue to take advantage of that characteristic of mine. And these characteristics, when we talk about this, it may be something you were innately born with, where you tended that way. It could be a skill that you've sought to develop in your life. And that's something we've sought to develop in our life, to be able to move and be agile. So the question was, is it beneficial to continue to grow that attribute? So your friend, is it beneficial to continue to grow that attribute of being a, quote, handholder, which if we're using it in this scenario, that attribute to her life is to be a trainer.
Yes. And I think really where we, as a population, because a lot of times what we feel is we feel taken advantage of. And it's the people that are taking advantage of us. But when we're able to come to a realization of we can't be taken advantage of unless we allow ourselves to.
Right.
That's a big realization. So that we're able to see it's frustrating, you're there, and then how did I get here? Or what adaptations can I make right now to make sure that I don't put myself in a position? Because I really do believe when there's times in my life where I'm like, I can't believe all of these people are taking advantage of me, whether it's in my home. So, I mean, as a mom, we feel like that sometimes, right? I mean, I told you the other day, so you're coming over to do this podcast, and I was like, awesome, let's do it. By the way, my house is a train wreck. Don't judge. I think that's what I wrote on the text message, knowing that you wouldn't judge anyway. But I feel like still I want to throw it out. Like, just have expectations, because I was gone.
But you didn't need to.
Yes, right.
And it's not a train wreck.
I know. It's like our default, right? Our default that we have to make that little little public service announcement to each other or something. But I was gone on Wednesday and I was gone on Thursday. And actually, when I told you, I think I said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I realized this train wreck happened in 2 days, which when you have 5 people living in the house, it can happen pretty easily. Because I have not trained my children well to clean up themselves, because they know that mom's going to do it. Like, mom has taken care of situations. Love my husband with my whole heart, but he also I haven't trained him well to clean up after himself. So when I have had 2 days of just run, and I haven't been at home unloading, loading, running loads of laundry, picking up as I go, all of a sudden it just looks crazy around here. So I can get super mad that I have been taken advantage of because of these people that have expectations on me. But I need to realize that I have set up the scenario that I live in right now. I pick up after my people because I love them. So I can play poor me all day long, but if I don't start addressing that situation and start trying to set new guardrails, because we always can set new guardrails, whether it's at work or at home, we can set guardrails to make sure that we're not being taken advantage of.
Yeah, well, and even thinking through changing the mindset of I'm being taken advantage of instead of owning the decisions we're making. Like, we own the decision if we say yes or no. We do. And we can say, this doesn't work for me right now. Let's discuss that. But also realizing that we are not going to continue to grow in these attributes, in forgiveness. I heard somebody say this week, I let things go really quickly, and I probably forgive faster than anybody I know. And I thought, that's a bold statement. But this is an older gentleman who has for years worked to become skilled at letting go and immediately forgiving. So he truly believes, like, he walks in that ability to forgive quickly. Well, he's going to have opportunities to not want to forgive in order to hone that skill. Just like being flexible or being a servant. We talk about having a servant's heart, but I did it twice. We still have the power to say yes or no. We still have the decision to say yes or no. And when we have those times when we feel like we're being taken advantage of and putting ourselves in a victim mindset, to do exactly what you said, take a step back and say, what has been my role in here? And a lot of times it comes to us not having that hard conversation or the easy conversation or presenting a new solution or even seeing it in a different light. Lord, what are you trying to teach me in this time?
And sometimes we can't say yes to all the things that come our way, even if we want to. Yes. And I think sometimes that's where I get stuck, because I know the things that I want to do and I align with, but sometimes there's a lot of them out there. And it's not that there's bad choices and good choices. Sometimes there's lots of good choices, but I can't do them all. Right. I can't be a part of them all. Yeah. And so I have recognized, I think, if I go back to the last decision that was, I'm agreeable. And if you ask me to be a part of something and I think, okay, I can do that, I say yes. And sometimes I say yes before I even think things through, because, and a lot of times that works out really well for me. But lately there was one thing that I said yes to that has not worked out well for me. I recognize that it's not that this person's over asking. The problem was that I said yes when I shouldn't have. And so I take responsibility for that. And I've learned from that I actually want to stop being so quick to say yes. I need to step back for a second and really look at it before I say yes. I may still say yes. I know I said the word yes a lot, but I may still say yes. But being quick to do it might put me in a position that I've overbooked my life and my schedule. And that's where my crazy kicks in. I feel like it's been a little crazy lately.
I read a book called Your Best Yes. It was actually a Bible study, and I can't remember. I think it was Lisa TerKeurst.
It is, yeah.
Fantastic. Did you read it?
I have the book. I don't know that I've read the whole book, to be perfectly honest, but
yeah, it is fantastic. And the thing I took away from it was, when I say yes to something out of obligation or guilt, I'm taking away an opportunity for the person that was meant to do that. Whether it was a volunteer position or an opportunity at work or whatever it was, when I say yes just because I feel like I have to, I'm taking that away from somebody else. And it's going to hurt me in the long run. It's going to hurt my family. It's going to, in some way, it's going to take away time. It's going to take away energy. It's not what I was gifted to do.
And most of the time when you say yes, you're saying no to something else. Now,
Yes.
sometimes that something else
right.
is something you should say no to. You know, I'm going to spend some time here, so I'm not spending so much time binging Netflix or, you know, whatever. Like, so, but you're saying no to something. So for me, I need to be clear on what I'm saying no to. And I got into the point where I was rocking and rolling. So I was just saying yes because it was working for me. And then I got to the point that I started seeing that what I was saying no to was my sanity, some extra valuable time in my schedule that I needed. And I want to start recognizing that ahead of time.
Yes. So let's change the narrative around the story of my family's taking advantage of me. Nobody will pick up their stuff, because we all have that internal dialogue. I feel like as moms, often, if we don't even realize it, I am so busy. Do they not see everything I'm doing for them? But if we switch the narrative around and actually have the conversation and say, hey guys, I am really busy right now. I am at my limit, like time-wise, energy-wise. Will you please help me? And be specific. Would you please unload the dishwasher? Would you please fold the load of laundry? Would you please take the dogs out and feed them? Give them a specific task and then say, I would really appreciate it. Okay, one, they're learning that when I feel overwhelmed, I can ask for help from my people.
Which is huge.
Yes. Then they feel like, yeah, I'll help. They may not do it willingly. It may be begrudgingly, but there's going to be a little something inside of them that is grateful that they were a part of the solution, that they helped mom, they supported mom, they were part of the family. And that goes a long way. I feel like those are character traits that go a long way. And then, or character traits, like life lessons, learning opportunities that go a long way. And then they get to see us expressing gratitude for them for stepping up and having that bit of peace about it.
And I think I know that goes the same in the workplace also. I'm currently just doing this small Bible study right now about a leadership Bible study. And one of the things in it was how we don't tend to ask for help or voice our struggles in the workplace because we don't want to be seen as weak. But that voicing our struggles is where the camaraderie really comes together. Someone may be free to be able to take something off your plate. Someone else is there to brainstorm with you in order to help you be more effective. If they can't take it off your plate, they can at least maybe brainstorm to get it done. Or just a listening ear in general. So we're not just in our head about things. We are allowing community to come in and be a part of what we're doing. And ultimately, I think a lot of times, and I'm going to say men probably have even a harder time than women, but I don't know that that's true around the board. They just don't talk about their feelings quite as much as we do. But they're seeing it as weakness. But it actually, if we start being open and authentic and having conversations, it becomes an attribute because someone sees you as genuine. And then when they're having struggles too, they know that you're a person that they can brainstorm with, bounce things off or ask for help.
I'm glad you brought this up because I feel like overwhelm in the workplace is happening a lot right now. And it's probably flowing too from overwhelm in family life and personal life, but we've got to readdress that like you're talking about. So how do we have that conversation where those assets that you bring to the table that were so valuable to the company, what you get paid for, are being overtaxed, overwhelmed, and you cannot perform at the level you want to perform at? How do you have that conversation with your superior? And I think one of the ways of doing that is being super honest and being straightforward. And don't go in apologizing. I'm so sorry, I can't do this. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Come to the table and say, here's the situation we have. I am unable to put enough time or energy or thought into this because of all these other issues that are situations or things that are on my plate right now. I think I bring the most value right here in these areas. I'd like to concentrate my time here and bring a solution. Could we temporarily outsource some of these smaller tasks? Could we change around some roles or bring on even an intern, maybe a college intern, and train them how to do some of these things? Bring a solution on how to take some of those things off your plate. Also setting those boundaries that I really need to be with my family in the evenings, and I would like to be able to shut my phone off at 5 or 5:30 and know I'm not going to not bring value to the company during that time. So how can we structure the company? How can we structure my responsibilities here so that I can also show up well for my family?
Yeah, because in previous podcasts, we've talked about when you are in the place of overwhelm in the state. So you are feeling overwhelmed, then your view of the project or the task that is ahead of you is limited to what you're seeing in your overwhelmed state. So if you're not bringing other people into it, hey, can I pick your brain about something? I leaned on you this week. I had a scenario on my plate of a situation I needed to handle, and I knew that I was looking at it from my mama bear perspective, and I needed to bounce it off someone else so that I made the best decision and I didn't stay in my limited view of looking at the situation. I think I'm a great mom. It wasn't that I needed your help to be a mom.
Right.
I needed a peer in my life to bounce ideas off of so that I could make the best choice going forward. And I knew that my view was limited over the situation. So that for us to realize when we're in that place of overwhelm, saying, okay, here's what I'm seeing, but I'm going to pick someone else's brain because they might be able to see something that I can't see right now because my view right now is laser focused on the mess that's in front of me or the hardship that I'm feeling right now.
And what you did too, though, it wasn't just me. I think you reached out to me because you knew I understood some dynamics with the people involved. And had somebody else had that relationship, you would have reached out to them. So you were going to somebody that also had some insight into it.
Yes, I knew that you would be able to add value to whatever I decide to do going forward because you had wisdom in that area.
And I think that's huge. Like you seek out that wisdom from somebody who understands that situation, not to commiserate with you.
Yes.
So it is easy to feel taken advantage of in situations where we're feeling tired, stressed, overwhelmed. But there's an opportunity to grow. There's an opportunity to hone that asset. But there's also an opportunity to really take ownership of your life and what you want your tomorrow to look like and your next week to look like and how you want people to show up in your life. I don't want people to continually to show up in my life last minute. I'm going to just throw this on Dee Dee because I know she can handle it. But I also don't want people to say, oh, I'm not bringing that to Dee Dee. Oh, she'll freak out if I drop this on her last minute. Like I want to be somebody people can lean on, but not in a disrespectful way. So, because you want to bring value. But if we change that narrative around being disrespected and taking stock in our own life, how can I change this situation? Then we don't stay in a pity party. We don't stay in that state of overwhelm. You get inspired, like you get empowered because now you can make a change. Wow. Why do I sometimes like let these words out that sound like I've never even been to school. Wow.
I don't know. I think it's funny. So I think it's funny that you said pity party and empowered, because those were the two words that were in my head. So I'm like, is she in my head right now? It's crazy.
Yes. Oh, yay. We are back to
we're back.
It's been a long time. I feel like.
I do too.
But yes. So when you have those moments and you feel like I want to quit, first of all, acknowledge that in yourself. That's a beautiful attribute. That is a characteristic that you've honed. And this is an opportunity to continue to hone that. And take a minute to appreciate that about yourself. And then see how you'd want to change it. But definitely get the don't take advantage of me narrative out of your head.
Yeah. So be super grateful for the gifts you're given. They will be so useful in this world, but also set guardrails around those gifts because it's yours and we want them to shine. You want your gifts to shine, but they can be taken advantage of if we allow them to be taken advantage of.
Yeah. It's kind of like a garden. You have this beautiful gift you want to grow, and the weeds could choke it out if you don't tend to them. They can also make it stronger as you tend to it and nurture that gift in the healthy way that you want it to grow. So
awesome. I love the topic.
Good.
Well, it was great being back with you here today. So I'm glad to be back in the swing of things again. So if you would like to listen, if this is the very first podcast you've listened to and you want to hear what Dee Dee and I've had to say in the past, you can find us on all the major podcast platforms. You can also go to our website, www.liveyourdesign.life, and there you can find a link to get to our podcast. You can find out more about our coaching business, see if it would be something you would be interested in, and there's contact form there. You can reach out to us at that time. It's great to be back with you guys, so have a great day.